Well, I would like to start with talking about remote work. We added this topic as we saw the demand. A lot of questions were coming in, and as Francois Kim said, we are organizations. We have our own specialties, yet we always at the service of the nonprofit community. So when you asked us about remote work, we said no problem. Let us share how remote work is done. So. Question number one, everybody asks how to get work done when you're not working in the office. And it's interesting because for a decade or maybe more than that, the tech world, which we three of us are, has been doing remote work for many, many years, and we're very familiar and we know how to get it done. So here's some of my tips that I put together, reading the articles and using our own experiences. Thing number one is a Scrum board. This comes from the Agile methodology, where you put things on the board, and one side has things to do, and the other side would have things that are in progress or done. And here in this picture, you actually see this is my dining room converted to a Scrum board for my children, and they have their tasks to do, and when they get them done, they put them on the other side. And we in the office as well actually have our own Scrum board that is not electronic, but it's actually glued on our board. And every time we are working in a sprint, it's very satisfying to move that Post-it from one column to another. So getting Scrum board into, I know probably now it won't be possible to do it physically, so I will show you how you can do it using another platform that is called Trello. So your Scrum board will contain things that team needs to work on, and you will see who's working on them and where the things are getting done. One of the another tip that will help you to get work done, especially now when you don't see people, they don't see what they're working on and what they would want to work on, is daily Scrum. Daily Scrum is basically 10 minutes conversation with the team, and you answer only 3 questions. Things that a person accomplished since last Scrum, so yesterday, things that you want to accomplish today, and things that are holding you back. So this is not a time for status updates. It's really 10 minutes, 15-minute conversation. Team goes around and says, I'm working on getting this communication done, and by today I will get the draft to Kim. Very specific and very action-oriented. And during that time, you also share what's holding you back. Well, you can say things like, well, Julia haven't given her piece of work and I can't finish my draft. So, but you don't continue conversation. In that time, you will take it out of the daily Scrum to talk about why Julia is not delivering on her work. So that's my 2 top tips using the Agile methodology that is used in tech, Scrum board and daily Scrum to get things done. And it works because I'll tell you guys, my house have never been cleaner since this Scrum board is in my dining room. Recognition and relationship. Remote work can feel for many who haven't done it before, very lonely, and I see that it's disappeared. That's the other point. Recognition and relationship. Encouraging formal conversations. We are social animals, and it's important to not only talk about work, but also be able to connect with others through other conversations that we usually would have in the office. Talk about weather, talk about what's happening, and how people deal with things internally now that they can chat in a lunchroom. So later on, I'll show you that Slack is a great way to do that, because you can have a different Slack channel for for whatever channel where you can share your tips and recipes, or just informal conversations. Yesterday I saw a really cool article about how it is important for people to feel rewarded and recognized, especially now, and since we don't have that human interaction. So companies have it actually virtual reward ceremonies via Zoom, so you can actually talk to employees and recognize their achievement even though you're not in the same location. Something what we do at Univer is called daily diary. It's also a way to communicate how the day went, and not necessarily about work, but about anything. And in the same way, like we do daily Scrum, there's 3 questions that everybody has to answer. It is question number 1. People have to share exciting, amazing, and interesting thing that happened today in a specific day. So everybody has to come up with 3 or 2. People share also what was challenging during the day. We always have a lot of those. And the last thing that is most important, we have to be grateful for something. And it's the hardest category to be grateful for. So you basically force yourself to think what was great in a day and what are you grateful for, because gratitude is very important. So those are my tips on remote work and more. I have a couple more. So one of the biggest issues with challenges with remote work could be that it gets lonely. Employees can feel, or you can feel, isolated. So it is very important these times for managers to make sure that you address that point. And how? Well, be available, but do establish communication expectations. So for example, you know what time you will be able to respond. And if you're an employee and you have a manager, please communicate with them when you are not available. So there's that understanding of availabilities, and regular team meetings and one-on-ones. So connecting with employers, with your team members individually on a weekly basis is recommended. And some of the very cool stuff that I advocate, and it's very important, dress up, show up for work, even though you're in your living room or around your kitchen table, you are at work. So even though suit is not required, but do get out of your PJs, because that facilitates the transition from home to work, and it's very important to get to the state of work. Schedule. Start time is super important. So make sure, it's very easy to start doing other tasks when you're at home, and especially when children are at home. So program your start time. And my very good tip to program a start time, we would actually have our daily Scrum meeting scheduled at 8:30. So at 8:30, I know I have to be on a call and everything needs to be done by 8:30, and we take 10 minutes to talk about what we're going to accomplish during the day. And that kind of puts you in a work mode. You can schedule the breaks within a day. So you do take time off the computer and the screen, which is we're in front of them all the time right now. And lunch, I think it's super important to schedule lunch. Otherwise, you will work through that lunch hour and not take time for yourself. So in our calendar, actually, lunch has been scheduled forever. And unless something happens, that lunch hour is very special. And you can also program the end time. And I think nowadays our children can help us to program that end time. You can tell them that I will be done by 5 o'clock, and you are allowed to bother me and ask questions at my end time. There are tons of resources that are available online. There's a great Forbes article talking about remote work. Salesforce, actually, on Trailhead, there's a great article on how to manage remote teams. And within that trail, there's so many other additional resources on tools and best practices. So if you really want to educate yourself and see what works for you, what can work and what cannot work, it's a great resource that I recommend. I went through the whole trail yesterday, and it's pretty good. So that's my tips on remote work. Here's our tech tools, and this is our favorites because there's a lot, and I'm sure I didn't cover, I don't have all of them, all the possibilities, but these ones that I know specifically, and I can tell them the good and the bad. So here we go. And because we are in a nonprofit sector, price is always important. So we always look at that angle. So for collaborations, Trello is a project management Scrum board, and check it out. So there's a free version. You don't have to pay for it to some extent. So it's very easy. It's like a Post-it note task management system, and tasks are organized into projects, and you can assign them to your team. And it's very, very easy to use. The learning curve is not that steep. In a similar way, there's Asana. Asana is a little bit, I I would say a little bit higher on the learning curve. There's also a project management and tasks view for your projects. Between Trello and Asana, Trello is much more simpler. So we started first with Trello and then moved to Asana, and then actually went to Monday.com, which is a very cool platform, a little bit expensive, but does worth it if you're thinking long term that you're going to stick with Monday.com. Nowadays, we all manage all our projects on Salesforce, but these is an option that are pretty cool to start how you can start collaborating with your team today. Gabriella from Salesforce.org shared with me that Quip Documents, which is a very cool collaboration solution, is now free for the nonprofits during the crisis. So check that one out as well. This entire campaign is built and collaborated using the Google Suite of Documents. So this particular presentation is actually using Google Slides, and we have our Google Sheets and our Google Docs. So definitely free and very easy to use to collaborate with your team. Box and Dropbox are very similar, but not the same. Box and Dropbox are both document management platforms. Box a little bit more complex in the way that it has metadata templates, and Dropbox has been around for a while. So these are the tools that you can use to collaborate with your team. There's also Mural.io. I haven't used it personally, but I checked it out and it looks pretty cool. It's also a project management delivery platform. I didn't think it was free. There's a $12 per month per user, I think. Oh, my voice cuts out. I don't know if it's my side or yours. Let me just make sure I'm well hooked in. All right, communication tools. Zoom. This web conference is brought to you through Zoom, and 40 minutes by Zoom are free. Yesterday, we heard from one of our participants that now Zoom is offering it for free. We are trying to validate that, and if it is, we will certainly share with people on this call. So Zoom, you can have regular meetings, conferences, there's Zoom rooms. There's actually Zoom telehealth that I saw yesterday that we're thinking about helping clinics to use. There is also join.me, which is similar to Zoom. There's a free trial on join.me, so you can check it out. Slack. Slack is a messaging platform. It's like your Facebook Messenger or any other messenger, but you can have not only your own team, you can have people outside of your organization. It works with the email and not the phone number. So this is a very great tool if you're trying to talk to many people at the same time and they're not necessarily have the same platform, because if you are on the Facebook, everybody has to be on the Facebook. If you are using like Google Hangouts, everybody needs to have a Google account. So Slack is kind of like all in one, and you can search the channel, the whole Slack thread, and you can make different channels. For example, you can make that channel for informal conversations, or what you have for lunch channel type of thing, which is pretty cool. Google Hangouts is another communication tool that is free. A lot of people using Skype and WhatsApp as well, because you can have those on your computer, not on your phone. Also very cool, but not free. I mean, Zoom, 40 minutes is free, but then you have to pay for your subscription. And then there's GoToMeetings, that is very established communication tool that is available. If you guys have any questions about any of these tools and want to give us a scenario of what you're trying to solve, we will do our best between three of us to recommend and see if there's other tools we recommend. For example, this week, Francois received a message from somebody like, hey guys, we're doing a board meeting. What would you recommend for voting? And there's so many tools for voting, and we tried many of them. So maybe we can give our advice on which one is the best. If you ask me which is better, Zoom or join.me, it depends. Does your people need a local call-in number? If that, then join.me is a better platform because it has local numbers, whereas Zoom, you always have to call to the Toronto area number. So those kind of things we can help you out. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. All right. Well, it's clear right now that we're in a crisis mode, and there is a lot of uncertainty, and people are scared. Global public health is at risk. We know that we don't know how bad the economic fall will be, and your operations are destabilized, to say the least. Like events are canceled, and those are revenue that were very important to you are no longer there. But with all this uncertainty, there is one certainty, and that we will recover. Like Kim said, respond, recover, and then thrive. It's hard to see it now as we're still falling, and perhaps worse is still yet to come. But we know from history and deep down in our heart that we are resilient and we're strong. And it is times like now that puts us in an uncomfortable position that make us most creative, forces us to innovate and think out of the box. And remember that it's not how often and how hard you fall, but it is how strong and confident you get up. So as you deal with the crisis and responding and recovering, start thinking, what does it mean for your organizations to rise stronger and be more confident? It can be stronger governance or HR policies. We probably don't have the time to look at those very often. But since we're in tech, I have a suggestion for you to start planning your recovery and thrive phase. Reinforce your tech profile. Technology is not going anywhere, and it is a weakness for so many organizations that we see every day. If we learn anything from the current crisis, that nonprofits struggle the most with technology. It is often, put to the back burner and is on the "I will look at it later" list. So if you do decide to take my advice and allow me to share with you, what does it mean to have a stronger tech profile? What does it really mean? Well, what is a strong tech profile? Well, first of all, I think we all can agree that nowadays solutions need to be cloud-based. I know that a lot of organizations with a server-based solution can VPN to their computer and access their database. Certainly an option, but not optimal. Nowadays, solutions have to be living in the cloud, just like Trello and all the other tools that we suggested you today. So they're all available. Doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have an internet connection. So if you're still running on a server-based solution, please do consider going to something that is available through your browser. Solutions now have to be integrated. I think from our experience, we see that organizations use 7 to 10 different solutions to run their operations, and most of the time they don't talk to one another. So we could have our CRM, and then we will have our MailChimp and our email and our QuickBooks and our Samplik page and our event page. Through Eventbrite, and all of them live in their own space. Well, nowadays, the expectation is that platforms should be connecting, they should be talking to one another. So if I make a donation on Samplik page, it goes to my CRM directly. So, and I don't have to do anything about it. It is now a norm, and it's essential. Next phase is a game-changing phase, I call it, because automations is key nowadays, and because manual tasks are a waste of time, they're expensive, they create many mistakes and errors, and you will see that many platforms now offer that logic of automation. Automation means if X, then Y. For example, if I have a major gift that comes in, I want to be notified, and maybe to the entire, let's say, board, so we can plan together a virtual thank you event for that specific donor. So those are automations. And nowadays, actually, artificial intelligence is playing a bigger role in helping organizations succeed. So algorithm now available to the nonprofits organizations. So how can you use artificial intelligence in your operations? Well, how about something like prediction? And we can predict who will donate and who will not donate and when. So if we take very cool algorithm and plug in all our awesome CRM data, we can predict those things. Or as well, we can have artificial intelligence, AI, recommend us what to do with a particular donor depending on their profile. So all that is now available to the nonprofit sector. And often I hear nonprofits say, Julia, but we're very small, we're only 2 people, and our operating budget is 200,000. I don't think we can have a powerful tech profile. Well, I say that it's wrong, and then that's a thinking of the past. No, regardless of your size, you can have that profile, and you don't have to be the Red Cross to have a strong tech profile. It's actually probably easier for you to have that strong profile than for larger organizations. But we can talk about this on another day. So next, since, well, you said, well, I don't have a very strong tech profile, where can I start? Well, those who know me, you know that I love giving people homework. And I think what you can start is with the basics, which is in the tech space is data quality. What is data quality? To me, it has many different levels, and data quality has so many aspects, such as data normalization, data deduplications, data design. I would like to start very simple and just to focus on such things as data completion. We work with many clients, and a lot of them, have big holes in their data. And I think this is the best time now, as you will respond to your donors, and the crisis mode will slowly transition into recover mode. In that mode, you can start thinking about your basic fields. Do you have everything completed in your database, in your spreadsheet, in your Access? And if not, make some effort, grab a glass of wine and go through those fields and complete them, because that data is super important, because as if you move forward, it will make your life much easier. Even if you don't have a state-of-art CRM system, just having everybody's email, salutation, and gender in your CRM can be used to build very cool campaigns. Duplicates, it's a reality, and now, as if you can access your database, think about what are the duplicates, records of your donors, and what would be a strategy to remove them, and how you can sustain that. And as you move forward and really thinking about, okay, I want to be very strategic, and as I will recover, if you want to thrive, I want to identify my top donors, or the donors that I want to steward. Well, the following key stats can really help you to zoom in who are those critical donors are. And you will only know that if you have information such as, what's the last give date, who is your biggest donor in terms of how many gifts they made this year or last year. And again, you don't have to have a fancy CRM. You can pull out into Excel spreadsheet, do a pivot table, and get the information ready to be able to communicate to your donors now and later. So since we are a Salesforce partner, I actually wanted to show you how we do that in Salesforce. And I do have few people here who are from our Salesforce community. Just very quickly, what is Salesforce? Salesforce.org is a nonprofit. There's a nonprofit cloud that Salesforce offers, and it's a platform, a command center for fundraising, for managing programs, marketing events, and it communicates with many other platforms, so everything talks to one another. So in the example that I'm going to walk you through today is how would you manage your data quality in Salesforce. And I'm going to try to make parallels. If you don't have Salesforce, again, you can still manage your data quality and complete those holes in the data. So if you guys just bear with me, I will switch my screens and jump into my other screen. All right, so you should be, screen management, there you go. So here I'm in my Salesforce org. I am in this is my demo environment, so all the data here is false. So what I really wanted to show you, and for those who are using Salesforce, first of all, you would need something that is called Data Quality Analysis app from App Exchange. It's free from amazing Salesforce Labs, and it comes with dashboards that I will show you. But let's try to keep it generic. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to go through your contact records and make sure that your your donor records are scored. How cool would it be if we could say, what are we missing to complete, so I don't have to go through each cell and complete it. So what you can have is basically an Excel spreadsheet, and with the key fields that I recommended or you think that are important to you, and see what is missing. So here for Bob Iger, I'm actually using primary donor appeal. So in your spreadsheet, you could be able to either enter it or have it already pre-populated from your list from another worksheet. And Bob Iger is missing a salutation, and we know salutation is very important, so we'll enter that. So you can clearly do that in Salesforce, very easy. But if this is a spreadsheet, it's basically a field that you would complete and filter on the blanks. And the data score is something certainly is calculated in Salesforce, but you can easily mimic that formula, which is super simple formula within your Excel that looks at the different fields that you have, and it will give you a score. And if any of you guys are interested in getting that, how to get that score in Excel, don't hesitate to throw that in the Zoom chat, in the chat, and we will get that formula out to you. We're pretty good with formulas here. So as you go through them, you will see basically your idea is to try to get to 100 for each of your donor record. And then if you are really feeling inspired, what you could do, you could graph your entire data records and see what is the overall state of my data. Whether it's Zoho or any other system, you can certainly do a simple pivot table and add a chart. For example, here we see that in my contacts, I am missing 65 records, which represent 34% of all my donor records. Data is complete, and I have like a little Bravo data is complete status, whereas I have another 55% where I'm missing two things: salutations and appeal. So this graphic, you don't have to do it in Salesforce. If you have an Excel spreadsheet, you do a pivot table on two different axes, and here we go. In Salesforce here, I mean, with this app that you could download for the App Exchange, you actually can see who's doing a good job and who's not doing a good job. So it's really helpful. As you can see, I have a higher score in data quality, so 51%, yay, not really good, but we'll take that. So if you guys have any more questions about how to set it up, and you would need to tweak it in Salesforce, we're obviously here and can help you out to set this up. The app is free for Salesforce customers. So that was all for me, and I will actually pass it over. Do I have anything else? Let's see if I forgot. Oh, no, there you go. I will pass it over to Kim now for closing remarks.